I never thought a simple favor would turn my life upside down. It started on a rainy Tuesday evening. My husband, Mark, was away on a business trip, and I was home alone with our 3-year-old daughter, Lily. The sink had been clogged for days, and no matter how much I tried, I couldn't fix it. Water was backing up, dishes were piling up, and frustration was setting in. That's when I texted Jake, Mark's best friend. Jake was a handyman, always fixing things around the neighborhood. He was polite, always smiling, and had helped us out before. But this time, things felt different. When Jake arrived, he gave me that easy grin of his and got to work. I offered him coffee, trying to ignore the way his shirt clung to his arms as he bent under the sink. The house was quiet except for the sound of tools clinking and the rain tapping against the windows. But something about the way he kept glancing up at me made me feel uneasy. Was I imagining it? Then, out of nowhere, he said, "You know, Sarah, Mark's a lucky guy." My stomach dropped. Was he flirting with me? I forced a laugh, brushing it off. But then he stood up, wiping his hands, and locked eyes with me. "I've always wondered." He started, stepping closer. My heart pounded. Was this really happening? Was Jake about to cross a line? My hands were clammy, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. But then, bang! A loud crash came from upstairs. Lily's room. I sprinted up, Jake right behind me. When I threw open the door, my blood ran cold. Lily was on the floor, her body jerking violently. Her lips were turning blue. "She's having a seizure," Jake yelled, already moving. He rolled her onto her side, shouting at me to call 911. His voice was sharp, commanding, nothing like the playful tone from before. The next minutes were a blur. Paramedics. The hospital. Doctors rushing Lily into treatment. And Jake, he never left my side. Hours later, the doctor told us Lily had a rare form of epilepsy. If she hadn't gotten help immediately, she could have. I couldn't even finish the thought. Jake sat beside me in the waiting room, his hands shaking. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable earlier. I was just stupid." I looked at him, really looked at him. The guy who had just saved my daughter's life. I could see the guilt in his eyes. "Jake," I said, my voice breaking, "thank you." He didn't say anything. Just nodded, his eyes wet. Mark flew home the next morning. When I told him what happened, he hugged Jake like a brother.